Martio here. Welcome to Retro Ranking, where we concentrate on people's songs more than their albums, and you just don't know what you're going to get on this one. And today we're going to do a bit of blues, and we're doing it to one of my favourite blues guitarists, singers, writers, and that's Mr. John Lee Hooker. Now, they're not quite sure when John was born. Some say it was 1912, and some say 1917. But we knew he passed away, and I remember this in 2001. He was an American blues singer, of course, songwriter, and he rose to prominence performing on an electric guitar style adapted of the Delta blues that he developed in Detroit. Been making music from the late 40s right up until he died, and he died in a lovely way. He just went to sleep and never woke up, and that's wonderful. I love his music, and he's made some great tracks. So this was hard for me because to pick 10 and then some honourable mentions. It took me a little while to get this one, but I'm glad I've done this. And there's ones I have missed off that I didn't want to, but you can't have everything. So, here we go. So, coming in at number 10. Now, this goes way back to 1951. And it was a number one on the R&B chart. Or the sheet music was, I think, because I didn't have a chart then. And it's I'm in the Mood. This is what sort of sums up for me John Lee Hooker. It's just him, the guitar, and that really grouchy, gravelly voice he's got. I love this, and he's got that sort of that sound where you can tap your feet to it. I just love listening to that track. Okay, coming in at number 9. This one is from 1966, and it's off an album called The Real Folk Blues. And I love this, and it's called The Waterfront. It's a little bit different. It's a whispery voice from John, and you get this gentle guitar shuffle on it. It really is different. It's just one of those oddments, but brilliant. Okay, coming in at number 8. Now, this is from 1950. It's on an album called I'm John Lee Hooker, and it was released as a single here in the UK in 1964, and it got to number 23, and it's called Dimples. Now, this song does sound a little bit like Boom Boom, but the difference is it's got a different drum tempo and the bass line is different. A lot of people have covered this. It is a great track. It's one of those foot tapping tracks again, and it's got that distinctive John Lee Hooker vocal delivery. Okay, coming in at number 7. Now, this song was actually recorded back in at 1966, but it didn't come out and get published on an album until 1991. It was sort of a lost album, and it's called More Real Folk Blues. And it's called I Can't Quit You Baby. The guitar work here from John is fantastic. I don't know who the piano player is on this, but that it just adds to it. I can just imagine him sitting in that chair playing this guitar. Fantastic track. Okay, number 6. He's actually recorded in 1991. And it's the title track of the album, Mr. Lucky, which is a brilliant album. I bought this when it came out, and this is one of my favourite tracks on here. His voice is still as strong. He was still playing great blues. I love this track. Okay, for number 5, we are staying on the same album, Mr. Lucky, and it's a wonderful little track called I Wanna Hug You. It's classic sounding John Lee Hooker. This could have been recorded at any time during his career. It's just that boogie sound that he had on that guitar, and it's a fine vocal from John himself. Okay, number 4. We go to 1960 for this on an album called Travelling, and it's the brilliant Whiskey and Women. One of my favourite vocals by John Lee Hooker. The bass line is the major thing of this. It really drives the song, and John just puts a very simple guitar piece on top, and there's some harmonica in on this. Absolutely brilliant track. Okay, number 3, we go back to that Mr. Lucky album from 1991, and this is Hip. Again, it's a very simple blues track, but it could have been recorded in the 50s. It's just, this again, it just shows what a great guitar player he was, and it's simple, but it's got such a passionate beat to it. Okay, number 2, 1962, number 16 in the US, number 60 on the R&B, and it's Boom Boom. Absolute classic from John Lee Hooker. Got a little bit of life later on. It was released as a single because I think it was on a jeans advert, and also it appeared in the Blues Brothers film Outside the Cafe where he was playing it. I love Boom Boom. And I love that how. It's brilliant stuff. Great track. One of the classic blues tracks of our time. A lot of people may be shocked it's not my number 1. Because my number 1 is from 1966. And it's off the Real Folk Blues album. And it's 1 bourbon, 1 scotch, and 1 beer. One of my favourite blues songs of all time. Great guitar work from John. There's a lovely little piano on this. There's been some great covers of this, but this to me it defines the Delta blues. One of the great tracks, and I absolutely love it. So there we go. There's my top 10. I have got some honourable mentions, and they all come from 1948. These are all come on an album that was released, and it's called Detroit 1948 to 1949. Every track on here is from these, and the first one is a little track called Boogie Chillin'. This is very Robert Johnson style. It's on an acoustic guitar with a little bit of electric. It's raw blues, and it works wonderfully, and I love that track. The second one is Like a Woman, and this is what made him one of the great blues guitarists. I love how he does the beat on the guitar as well, and I just love this raw blues. You know, like Robert Johnson, you know, it's in that vein. It's a wonderful little song, that is. And the last one today is called Going Mad Blues. I think this is the rawest of these 3. It's just plug in and go, in the vein of Robert Johnson. Instead of doing it on acoustic guitar, John does it on the electric, and it is absolutely brilliant. Well, there we go. Some John Lee Hooker. Just a great blues player, and I really enjoy his music. Okay, and that's all for today. Sun's just out. It's a little bit cooler than it was yesterday, but it's still going to be a nice day. Okay, we'll be back tomorrow, and we're keeping in the blues sort of vein. And tomorrow we got the first part of the Robin Trower Band ranking. And tomorrow we're going to concentrate on from number 27 up to number 14. Some great albums in there. It was a tough one, but a very enjoyable one. So that's what we're doing tomorrow. So I will see you then. Bye for now.